You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's up, ladies? How y'all doing? It's your girl, your diva and knowledge lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Thanking all the ladies. Appreciate y'all for hanging out with me here at the lounge. For Mocha's Mod Squad, I appreciate y'all if y'all are here tonight, because you know a lot of this is pre-recorded. So nevertheless, for anybody that is here, any of my mods, again, I appreciate y'all for still being supportive of me. Big ups to all of my members who've been tithing to the congregation, who've been tithing to the lounge. $3 a month. I appreciate y'all as well. If this is your first time dropping by, or if you've been dropping by the channel periodically, make sure you subscribe, join the family. You know, we all get along here, you get what I'm saying? So it's definitely a safe space for everybody to share their differences in opinion and also be able to just basically chill here at the lounge. So with no further ado, let me go into this right away, right? Let me start off with my scriptures. Psalms 37 1-5. Fret not yourself because of evildoers. Be not envious of wrongdoers, for they will soon fade like the grass and wither like the green herb. Trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and befriend faithfulness. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust in him, and he will act. Psalms 71 Verse 10. For my enemies speak concerning me. Those who watch for my life consult together. So nevertheless, y'all, I thought it was imperative that I shared that scripture because unfortunately, as long as you are living in this life and on this place called earth, you are bound to have enemies. No matter how cool of a woman you are, no matter how reasonable you are, doesn't matter if you have the best interests or interest of others, or you try to be a fair person, you're going to have an enemy, whether you intentionally caused it or unintentionally caused that. So we've been following Love and Marriage, which I would rather call from here on out the Love and Tragic in Huntsville. Copyright. Make sure y'all, if y'all gonna use content creators little phrases now, give us, you know, small content creators, give us some love. You get what I'm saying? Give us some shout outs, you know. But I consider the show as Love and Tragic in Huntsville. It has not been Love and Marriage to me for a very long time, because as many of us have followed this show throughout the years, honestly, I fell off. I would say probably within the 4th or 5th season. I really lost touch, especially when Carlos allowed so much blatant disrespect to be committed towards Melody, and the fact that he has supported it and the fact that he has allowed it while showing favoritism. Certain cast members have been able to keep private or keep certain things in their lives of secret. So cast members were able to pick and choose parts of their lives in which they wanted to share. They had selective storylines in which Mel was totally 100% transparent. She put everything out there, everything, you know, about her accomplishments, also her failures. And one of the biggest failures that stood out was her divorce and the dismantle of her marriage with Martel Holt. So because of that, the show mainly started circulating around Mel and Martel, because the whole ideal was supposed to be love and marriage, which meant every cast member should have been very transparent and open about things and issues within their marriage. And we've witnessed it, all of us who followed the show for many, many years, we've witnessed that of course, Tisha and Marceau, they would disclose certain things, but had it not been for the sisters in blogging, like Caramel here for Hot Tea, True Tea, who also lost her channel recently. Who else? Queen of Sheba, Chit Chat with QT, you know, all of the sisters in blogging, and so many of them. Had it not been for, you know, the queens of blogging not doing their research, we would have been manipulated and lied to, had the bloggers not outed a lot of these cast members who Carlos chose to protect the image of certain individuals within the show, you know. And that was already a big disadvantage, because reality shows were supposed to show your reality, meaning that cast members were not allowed to pick and choose what they wanted to disclose and what they did not want to disclose. But for whatever reason, Carlos had his favorites, and we found out in the long run that Mel definitely was not one of them, because he allowed Mel to be the punching bag and to be the main storyline of everybody else's topic. Kimmy and Maurice constantly talked about things that was transpiring between Martel and Melody. Same thing with Tisha and Marceau. Their storylines basically centered around everything that Martel was doing or Melody was doing. We've just seen season after season. The show really should have been called Mel and Martel, because that's really all they ever talked about. Tisha and Marceau didn't talk about their lawsuits. They didn't talk about their bad money investments. Of course, Kimmy to this day will not be transparent and admit that she was a side chick, you know, and that Kiowa and Maurice still had a marriage that was going. They decided to totally flip that narrative and make it seem as if Maurice and Kiowa was done way prior, before Kimmy came in the picture. Kimmy the Frog, which I'll call her that because she jumps from one team to another team, and she'll jump from, you know, one extreme to a different extreme. So we've seen Kimmy the Frog leap and jump and straddle the fence multiple times. 1 minute wanting to be Mel's friend, to all of a sudden becoming an arch enemy, and we're going to talk about that later on as well. So people have been following the show. We've seen how a lot of the foolery unfold, right? And again, had it not been for the bloggers, we wouldn't have known Black Titanic as well. You know, all of the queens on blogging have really been putting us up on game. So those of us who have not been watching many seasons, such as myself, basically would just view certain content creators to get a review of what they perceive from the show. And I started watching a few here and there because I didn't feel like it was right for me to only give my narrative based off of other content creators' narrative without actually watching the show myself. So a couple of times I did step in, mostly for the reunions, and watch that so I can give you ladies my own personal intake as well. But we've seen, like I said, we've seen a foolery in the minstrel show. We've seen it play out season after season after season. And it continued to get worse, you know, especially as Mel continued to elevate, and the fact that she had no real protection at all throughout the show. Martel was still granted access, and Carlos then was aware that there was a restraining order that Melody and Martel shouldn't have been nowhere within the same company or within the same room of each other. Carlos, because ratings was more important than Mel's well-being and her safety, he allowed that. Also, he allowed Melody to constantly be targeted upon. He would not mandate the other cast members with sharing more of their marital issues and more of their shortcomings. I mean, every once in a while, they would be transparent about some things, like Kimmy was transparent about her cancer, and Maurice still want her to lay there and take it. I mean, the things that they did share with us, it really was not giving anything. But I guess after Carlos started getting a lot of flack from everybody picking up on that, he would let them exploit certain things, but they was not near as transparent or open about their issues like Martel and Melody was, right? So anyway, As we all know, Mel had finally decided to take that leap of faith and depart from Love and Tragic in Huntsville because, of course, Mel played a very big part. She was the main foundation of the show, and without Mel, the show would not have even developed. And Mel, being a woman of substance and wanting to really see other people win, in addition, to also being a part of the show so she can also continue to grow and elevate and be an entrepreneur as well. She created that show and she brought Carlos on. Carlos, who's had a reputation of not having reality show's best interest. That's why Bravo got rid of him. And one would think, especially once he got put on with a show that really had prospered, in a sense, that he would have learned his lesson from Bravo and he would have done things differently. But what ended up happening, Carlos got beside himself and he began to think that he was bigger than the show itself. Carlos started believing that he was actually the head of Love and Marriage and Love and Tragic in Huntsville, as if Melody didn't play a part in that, as if he did that by himself. And this is what happens sometimes, ladies, when you try to put other people on to your gift and to your your abilities. Sometimes instead of that person growing with you, they'll try to grow above you, and then sooner than later they will take something that y'all both built together, and now they are changing the original foundation of what the show was built upon. And that's what Carlos did. The show was supposed to be built off of black excellence and black owned businesses, also in black marriages. That was the original foundation of the show. Somewhere along the line, especially when bloggers started getting the real scoop on a lot of the things that the cast members wasn't sharing with us, it pretty much went from sugar to shit, to say the least, right? And it became Love and hip hop, it became the new Love and Flip Flop of Huntsville, basically. Especially when the disrespect continued to elevate, the way Tisha and Kimmy, would disrespect Mel, and basically every opportunity, every scene, we've always witnessed, if it wasn't Kimmy, it was Tisha, constantly bringing up something about Martel. Knowing Mel was not in a good space with Martel. But Mel and Martel's storyline was the only storyline that really was resuscitating a little life into the show. Had it not been for Mel and Martel's, the controversy surrounding their marriage, and the fact that Coleslaw and everybody being exploited to, who she was and how she became a part in the demise of the marriage. That's basically what the show kept surviving off of. They kept just surviving and thriving off of talking about Mel and Martel. Not that I'm a fan of Martel at all, but it would have been one thing if everybody just kind of stayed focused on Martel and what he did and the damage he caused. Everybody kept trying to make it seem as if Mel was just as guilty as Martel. Everybody was trying to say Mel was smashing dudes. They was going by anything Martel said, because the truth is, a part of them wanted to believe that, because Mel was a triple threat within her own right. The fact that they was this power couple from the very beginning, in which the Scotts was inspiring to become, and Martel pretty much ruined that, and he helped the downfall of what really made him and Mel the power couple. They was the power couple originally, and they was everything that the Scotts wanted to be or to become. Mel and Martel was envied by Kimmy and Maurice and Tisha and Marceau, and they tried to pretty much duplicate everything that Mel was doing, because we found out towards the end, Mel was the main team player. Martel wasn't on her team. Martel was too busy smashing Arionne at an Airbnb or in some Motel 6 or something like that. But they were really envious of the Holtz at that time. And Martel took the bait by basically making a decision that reflected upon the negative thing that really everybody was hoping for. They wanted to see Martel and Melody fail because they were envious of them. They had all kind of real estate businesses and all of that going on. And because Martel was so selfish and stupid, he could not understand that these same people who saw him disrespect his wife at the time by bringing Arionne around, they was being tight-lipped and quiet about it because they loved to see the fact that this power couple that they were so envious of and they were striving to become, they loved seeing that Martel was totally disrespecting Mel the whole time. And not near one of them was loyal enough to come to Mel, knowing she was the foundation of the show. She put them on. Nobody came to her and told her anything. Nobody said, hey, you might want to see what's going on with Martel. He's been bringing this girl around. I don't know what's going on. And Mel ended up finding out in the end that every last one of them was in on it. Everybody knew about Arionne air mattress. And she finally came to a place in which Mel realized nobody on the show got my back. Nobody on the show has my best interest. Not only on top of that, all of them was aware that Martel was disrespecting the marriage, but they too sided with Martel. Now, you call at an injury to insult when your husband has blatantly disrespected you, and then when he impregnates a coleslaw and create a coleslaw junior, the fact that everybody is still, trying to co-sign with him, like what he didn't do was totally humiliating and disrespectful. They tried to side with Martel when Martel accused Melody of cheating. They tried to side with Martel when they said that Melody cheated first. So they basically came up with every reason in the book that they could think of to pretty much co-sign with Martel shenanigans. Why? Because they was hating on the Holtz from day one. And it's like anything else. Once people notice that there is a crack in your marriage, what they do is they continue to cause division. And because Martel did not want to accept the fact that he was the one who fumbled that bag and ruined his marriage, and Melody was not going to take him back by any means necessary, what he did was he built the anti hate male camp. That's what he did. He started going around recruiting people who he knew also had any type of animosity or hatred towards Mel, because at that time he was in a bitter, broken place because Mel had decided to end the marriage. So he basically went out on a warpath. Anybody who did not like Mel, who was not on good terms with Mel, even though not understanding that they didn't like you either, because you idiot, you was her husband at one point in time. So the same people that was hating on your wife, they was also hating on your life. So they was glad to join forces with you, not because they honored you and not because they liked you, but they liked the fact that you were now a part of what they were for, which is basically hating the fact that you and Mel actually had something strong and solid. And what you did was you joined forces with the same individuals who did not want to see you win anyway. So the moment you went to losing, they was down by law to be on your side with helping you kick Mel down, helping you to stump Mel down. And that's why everything ended up going left the way it did. Now y'all are enemies. Now the Scots, which y'all call the scams, with all them bad investments they've been making that they never talk about on the show because they were too busy talking about what was going on in Mel and Martel's former marriage at the time. Basically, now y'all are arch enemies, and that's usually what happens. When people come together to try to gang up and attack one person, sooner than later all of them end up falling out. You know why? Because there was no loyalty from the beginning. What you never want to do is build a team or a friendship off the fact that y'all have a common enemy. Trust me, I learned that the hard way. Never make friends with somebody because y'all don't like the same person. Never join forces with somebody on your job because y'all don't like the same supervisor. Because basically, the friendship or the business partnership is being built off of a negative stance. So whenever you and a person come together because y'all don't like the same person, while y'all think it's a good thing, in actuality it's bad, because you never want to build your foundation off of hate. And that is the reason why to this day the Scots or the scams, they cannot stand Martel. And the truth is, they never liked him from day one. They never liked him from the fact that he was Mel's husband. And they knew Mel was a hustler, Mel was a go-getter, and being the fact he was so bitter and acting like a B-A-N, he allowed them to pull a rug from up under his foot, thinking that it was only going to hurt Melody in the end, but it also costed him, right? So getting into this point, because we already know how everything transpired and how it finally got to this place in which Melody said, you know what, I could have stayed on this show, because she could have, she was, this was her baby. The show was her baby. She produced the show. She gave life to the show. And I strongly believe Mel hung in there as long as she did, was because she was one to not let people run her. She was not one to run away from anything. Melody believed in standing on business. But it got to a point in which she realized her peace of mind was being compromised. And sometimes as an adult, you have to get to the place where you realize, I can stay here and remain in this situation just to prove a point. But it comes a point where you have to decide what's more important, proving a point or protecting my peace. Melody got to that place to where I'm going to protect my peace, because I'm sure Melody already knew that once, if she made that decision, which she ultimately did, to leave that show, that they was most likely going to pull the stunts that I'm getting ready to talk about now. So I believe Melody stood on business and hung in there as long as she could, because she knew once she left that show that they were going to do something funky to try to dismantle something that she had built from the ground on up, right? Of course, in addition to Carlos helping to sabotage that by having favoritism and allowing certain cast members to get away with certain things, and the fact that Martel had all of these cases, it's been so much against him to where he should have been removed from that show. But Carlos kept extending Martel grace for whatever reason, and allowing him to stay on that show regardless of how many court violations anybody else who had committed all the offenses that Martel did would have been put off the show, would have been lost their contract. But for whatever reason, Carlos is the king of chaos. He's a messy queen, so he did not mind Mel being targeted and sabotaged just so that he could continue getting the views he wanted to have. All right, so getting into this, right? So what I'm getting ready to say is alleged. Make sure y'all hit that like button, please, if you have not already. All of this is being alleged. Anything I say in this video is based off of my own opinion, based off of my own perspective. Nothing I say in this video is actual factual. This is my disclaimer. This is just for entertainment and educational purposes only. All right. Okay, so make sure y'all stamp that, right? So this is what's going on. Allegedly, I've been listening to Who Knew. Shout out to her. Empress, shout out to her. I've been listening to multiple different people. Caramel Rail, shout out to her as well. So I've been listening to different people, and it's been alleged that Arionne is going to most likely be joining the Love and Tragic in Huntsville. Now, allegedly, she's already taken a lot of things down from her page, from her Instagram, and from her I guess TikTok or whatever other channel she got, and she's been laying low and she's been really quiet. So this is the reason, one of the factors as to why a lot of people are speculating that she may be joining Love and Tragic in Huntsville, because most of the time when they're getting ready to put you on or bring you onto a show, they'll tell you, you can't have, you can't be posting things, you can't be speaking on things or addressing things. This is part of the contract because the show wants you to save things for the show, and the show does not want you blowing this cover by going on, social media. Yeah, this is what happened and that's what happened. I see Arionne didn't mind doing that when she wasn't part of the show because Martel, Fire Marshal Martel, who's always setting fires, he was reporting and telling Air Mattress certain things, and she would be posting about it, or she'll be speaking live on it. A lot of things she was putting out there, a lot of things that she was telling, because we all know she has diarrhea at the mouth. So she didn't really stand nothing to lose, which in actuality, that is even more the reason Martel should have been let go from that show. But again, Martel is Carlos' right-hand man, and Carlos feels that is necessary for him to be solid to Martel. No matter what Martel does to Melody and other people on the show, he's going to be loyal to Martel always. He has proven that, right? So everybody's been kind of speculating something is going on because Arionne has never been as quiet. Okay, she's removed a lot of pictures. Now she did post recently a picture of Martel picking up little Chucky. Okay, so she did post a picture of that. All right, I guess to let everybody know that my baby daddy is still baby daddy, and he's coming around and getting out my son, our son. So she has to constantly let us be in the loop when it comes to Martel playing part-time daddy or whatever the case is, right? But with that being said, this is one of the reasons why a lot of people feel that Arionne could possibly be making an appearance on this show. Okay, and we know she's been waiting for this moment. She's been pushing for this moment, and because now that Mel is out the way, this gives them all free game. They have free game. Carlos has free game now to do whatever he wants. There's no more rules at this point. All bets are off. There's no boundaries. There's no restrictions. And not to mention, the show, the ratings are failing terribly. So at this point, they got to go out with a bang. They got to pull out all the works. They have to pull everything out the grab bag to really survive this season, to resuscitate this season, because as we know, Love and Tragic in Huntsville is on life support, okay? And they all know that now that Mel is leaving, they know they really have to take things to a whole nother level to try to revive this show. Now, you're going to have some people that are going to be viewing, and a lot of people say they're not going to be viewing. I personally believe a lot of people are going to be viewing because they know if Air Mattress comes back on, this is finally going to give everybody that hype that they've been looking for. Not people who are very loyal supporters of Melody. They're not going to be watching. Like, I don't plan on watching. I haven't really been watching except for the last 2 reunions. And once Mel said she was departing, that pretty much ended it for me. But we all know the same people that basically piss on Air Mattress, that are not fans of Air Mattress, like I'm not a fan of her, they're going to be the main ones that are going to be tuning in. It's like how can I say? It's like watching a train wreck. It's like you don't want to see it, but you don't want to turn away either. You don't want to see it, but you don't want to turn away. I strongly believe a lot of people are going to tune in just to see what is the new, what direction is this show going to go. But my thing is, how long is the hype going to last? Once an episode or 2, I just don't see how long it's going to keep the fans or the followers or the views at bay, because we already know Air Mattress's storyline. All the queens of blog have been putting us on that. I don't know what can she offer or bring to the show other than show up as Martel baby mama. You have no businesses to talk about. You have no different things going on in your life. It's not like you're going to school. It's not like you selling products. What do you have to offer other than to keep saying the same goddamn thing we already know about you? You want to come on the show so you can speak your side of the story. We've heard your side of the story multiple times. You going to these sidekick bloggers. You done went to Tasha K. You done been on YouTube several times. Popping your lipstick and all this and lip gloss and everything. We done heard the same story. We know how you and Martel got together. So I don't know what Arionne Air Mattress is going to be able to offer to keep her valid on the show for a long period of time. I just don't see what she has to offer. Are her and Martel going to be showing us around their Airbnb? Are we going to be following them to Popeyes? Are we going to be following them to Laundromat? Are we going to be seeing little Chucky do cartwheels and spin around on the kitchen floor? I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what are they going to be talking about. And from what I've also been told, Melody has a clause. So how are they going to talk about themselves without mentioning Melody at all, when Melody plays a big part at how they met each other? Okay, so I guess they just going to go around it and just call Mel she? Well, she never wanted us together. Well, she. I mean, how y'all going to get around it? I don't know if the clause is where they can't mention her, period. So I don't know if they'll be able to mention things about her, but they just can't say her name or say anything specifically, or they just can't bring her up at all. I don't know how tight the clause is on that, but for instance, like they was doing with Air Mattress, they would never say her name. They just kept saying baby mama. They just kept saying. So I just don't know, but I hope the clause is very tight to where Martel cannot mention and say anything like my baby mama or the mother of my kids or my ex-wife. Hopefully it's a lockjaw contract in which they cannot bring her up at all. And if that's the case, that'd be really good, because my thing is, what does that really leave to keep the show going? Well, how is that going to bring life into the show? Because we know the show has been centered around them talking about Mel and Martel for years, okay? Now that she's not there, and if that clause is really tight and lockjawed, I just don't know what else they're going to be able to have to offer. I mean, Air Mattress and Martel don't have no money. Are we supposed to follow them, do scenes at Chili's where they talk about little Chucky, where Air Mattress talks about, I don't know why people are so judgmental of me when we made this decision to be together. I just don't know what she's going to be able to come with. Stop. So now that Melody has departed from the show, they're going to pull out all the breaks. They're going to pull out any rabbit out the hat that they can possibly find, because they know that this show is basically standing on its last leg, right? Not only allegedly is Arionne possibly going to be joining the show, so is Food Truck Wanda. Okay, so everyone that was against Melody, they are all going to have a part back on the show. And this just goes to show how desperate Carlos has been really starving for views. So on a scale of I'll just ask all of y'all, in the chat, if you think the show is going to be a hit, press 1. If you think this is going to officially pull the plug and kill the show indefinitely, press 2. Give me your opinion on it. Truth is, there are going to be people that's going to be tuning in. Now, is it going to be turned up like it was when Melody was there? If so, it'll only be because people want to see a shit show, right? People want to see Air Mattress and Wanda basically embarrass themselves. And let me tell you something. All of these individuals, it's going to be interesting, because my thing is, if they let Air Mattress on the show, are the Scots going to feel safe with that? Especially after she has co-signed Martel on their fuckboy shenanigans, Maurice and Marceau. Are they going to feel safe with her coming on the show and airing them out? Then again, because there's no real evidence, it's not like they had children like Martel did, so they may be willing to tolerate Arionne coming on the show due to the fact that she really don't have much to prove. So they may be all right with that if it's going to help bring the views. If Carlos is able to convince the castmates that it will bring views, it will revive the show if Air Mattress is given a space on the show. So I don't know how they're going to feel comfortable with that. Now, Kimmy, the frog, who likes to jump from one team to the next, she done already implied that she would be willing to film with Arionne Air Mattress, because we all know Kimmy has a strong, passionate hatred towards Mel. So she does not mind at this point rocking with anybody who has any disdain against Mel, because Kimmy is in her feelings that Mel has something to say about Maurice. And even though it was okay as long as Mel was the talk of the town, as long as everybody was able to drag Mel, drag how Martel embarrassed the hell out of Mel, it was okay. But the moment somebody had to say something about her husband wearing lipstick when he got pulled over for a DUI, all hell broke loose. And the thing about it was, it wasn't like it was a rumor. It was something that actually happened. And for whatever reason, she really got upset with Mel when everybody had an opinion on the situation of the DUI with Maurice. So this goes without showing, right, that I really don't see what direction this show is going to go and what it's going to have to offer. I really don't see how the views are going to out top the views that was basically going when Melody was on the show. I don't think the views for the Love and Tragic is going to hit the same like it did when Mel was there. At this point, we know Martel is totally desperate. Oh, sorry about that. I got a text message, y'all. We all know that Martel is reaching for anything. And as we stated earlier, the last video that I did, last upload, that Air Mattress told Anthony basically that, Martel is sinking. He's sinking as far as with business opportunities. He's still soaking in misery, because Melody basically left him and he has just not been able to get ahead. So Martel has definitely been sinking and drowning, and Arionne Air Mattress has front row seats to Martel's misery because she played a big part in that, because again, she's not a victim, she's a volunteer, right? So we know Martel is going to hold on to Love and Tragic for dear life. And if it means, bringing his succubus, his mistress on the show, to bring a different storyline, which is not really a storyline, because again, we've always known Air Mattress to be the mistress. They're not going to tell us something or share anything with us we already don't know. But at this point, Martel is desperate. He has nothing else going for himself. He doesn't have any real estate. He doesn't have any other businesses. See, that's why Mel was able to make that move, because unlike the rest of them on this show, they are depending on this show. We all know the Scots, the scams, they don't really have any successful businesses, even though every once in a while they'll post here and there some of the things they're doing, and it's all to save face, because they don't want it to look like that they are in the struggle. And I get it. Sometimes you got to fake it till you make it, because There's no way you can be on a show like this that's supposed to represent black excellence, but you're in the struggle, and you don't have anything to show for it. So of course they got to fake it to make it, right? But a lot of them, they have to hold on to this show because this show is how they keep their notoriety, and then definitely how they keep their income. So we already know that there's not going to be any loyalty as far as it should be for male, because they are on a bloodhound mission. They need the money. They got all these lawsuits going on. Ain't no telling, how much stuff they got to pay off, how much bad investments. So we know the Scotts are going to be ride or die, okay, when it comes to the love and tragic in Huntsville. But back to Martel. Martel has been catching L's for a long time, and he will continue to catch L's. He's going to be the only idiot that's going to bring, allegedly, his baby mama on the show. The very reason for why people don't respect you, the very reason for why the Scotts and Marceau been basically able to drag Mel, and even more so you, the very thing that caused you to be looked at as less than a man is the very thing that you have become so desperate to keep in a storyline. You're willing to sacrifice your dignity and your integrity once again for a concubine. Because again, Martel is scary. He don't like to stand on his own. He's already proven that. Martel does not like to stand on his own. He has to have a shoulder to lean on. He's never been a man that stood on business. He has to drag somebody along. He has to drag a flunky, a flying monkey. He has to bring somebody along, that's going to help him get to where he needs to be. So if it means bringing Air Mattress on the show just so he can have some relevance and a storyline, even though he's disrespecting himself even more and still disrespecting Melody, which Melody doesn't care because she's moved on, obviously. But the fact that you have children from your ex-wife, you're not understanding that your children are going to know that you are filming with the same woman who caused a division in their family unit. But once Martel gets on that selfish mission, in which, that's why I call him Fire Marshal Martel. Once he's in the mode of trying to stay on top, he does not care who he has to destroy to do that. So Martel does not care about his morals being compromised. He does not care about his integrity. He doesn't care about any of that, because Martel cannot survive without this show. He cannot survive. So if him and Carlos made an agreement to bring Air Mattress on the show, it's definitely because they both are in dire need. We know that Carlos is in dire need of the views, because at this point, he's definitely been catching L's, not just from the millimeters, but from people in general, because we just done seen, so many people done seen him move snakish. You feel what I mean? And we know that Martel definitely needs the money. So he's gonna hang in there with Love and Tragic. He's gonna ride till the wheels fall off, cause he absolutely has nothing going for them. So the problem is going to be is that it's going to get even more dirtier and grimier from here. If this is really the direction that they are going, in which they're going to allow Arionne to come on the show, y'all think all hell broke loose. She's going to curse this show. There's not going, if she does come on the show, I'm gonna say alleged, because it has not been confirmed as of yet. But if she does, she's going to bring a curse to that whole show, because Arionne has waited for this moment. Air Mattress has been tired of not being heard. She's been fighting all her life, like Oprah, no, Sophia from The Color Purple. I had to fight all my life. Arionne has been fighting all her life to get some parts of Mel's life. She's been fighting to take Mel's seat. From Martel to being the main wife, being the main chick or whatever, which she has not succeeded in that yet because Martel has not married her. However, if she gets the opportunity to get on this show, you know she's going to grab it. She's going to snatch it. Because this is what she's been waiting on. Not understanding you coming on this show, we're really going to see you for who you really are. We're really going to see you for how dumb you are. We're really going to see you for how weak you are. We're really going to see you for how desperate you are. Because one thing about these reality shows, it has a way of bringing out all of the skeletons in your closet. Now, we already know a good bit about you. But once you get on this show, we're going to learn even more. So, you think you want to be on the show because you want to be heard. You want to tell your side of the story. But if anything, it's going to make you look even worse. No, I don't think nobody is going to look at the show and respect Arionne. I don't care what she brings to the show. There's nothing she can say or do to make people want respect her at this point. If anybody is viewing or watching the show, it's because they want to see the rest of the cast crash and burn. That is what they want to see at this point. Because there are anybody, even Ray Charles can see, it's only going to continue to get worse from here. They're letting all the bad seeds right back in on the show. Arionne has been nothing but a curse to Martel ever since he got involved with her. He's lost his marriage. Everything he's tried to do, he has not been able to prosper or elevate. His underwear line didn't get anywhere. His Inez wine didn't get anywhere. The magazine cover, that ended up being a total fluke to where they had to snatch it back off the shelves again. Everything he has tried has not been a success. And he's not understanding when you slept with the succubus and had a child from the succubus, you brought a curse into your life. And the fact that you're still not willing to humble yourself and leave her alone so God can at least, give you the opportunity to repent and change your ways. The fact that you are still running with this. The fact that you are still involved with her. She's going to continue to bring you down. You could bring her on this show, but I guarantee you, once you do that, you think you have problems. Everything else is going to go downhill from there. Because I really don't see the show being successful once they make this turn. Everybody may tune in for a little bit just to kind of, get on the hype of seeing what she's going to bring to the show. But once they see she's not really delivering anything and that is stale and the Scots still hiding their problems, still trying to make it like everything is great, everything is wonderful, there's nothing that's going to be edifying enough with the show to keep people's attention. The views are going to drop significantly. Everybody may turn in the first 1 or 2, but once they see it's the same old, the Scots still lying, acting like business is great, marriage is great. Here on Martel, live with his narcissistic ways. They're not bringing nothing there to the table. There is nothing that's going to be giving. I don't see anything giving. And the fact Wanda is going to come on there with her loud mouth, her lack of pronunciation. She's going to bring mess. And don't let her and Arionne Air Mattress have a scene. All hell is going to break loose. Because Wanda is most likely going to confront her about that bootleg show she did with Marcel's alleged mistress. Because that's her son-in-law. So, being that Marcel is married to her daughter, anytime anybody comes up against Tisha or Tisha's husband, Wanda is going to open her mouth and she's going to address it. Because she loves to be seen. She's messy. And at the same time, she don't like anybody coming for her daughter, even though Tisha could come for anybody she wants to come for. So not only that, this is the other problem. Air mattress is very young minded. I really can't see her really being able to vibe as a grown woman with Tisha or with Kimmy. But because they got so much disdain for Melody, they will tolerate her. Because see, Melody is not there to call the shots. So you have to realize Tisha and Kimmy, they all a family. Okay? But this is the problem though. Tisha is not going to feel safe with Air Mattress. Tisha don't like when anybody speaks on her husband, does not like when anybody speaks on her family, understandably. I'm the same way, whatever. But for more so with Tisha, it's more of a pride thing because Tisha likes for her marriage to look perfect. And she does not like when anybody puts her marriage on blast. So that alone, I don't see Tisha and Air Mattress connecting at all. This is the other thing. Tisha and Marcel, they can't stand Martel. Air Mattress is a part of Martel. She's going to be on his team. So I don't know if Air Mattress is mostly, if she does come on the show, what scenes is she mostly going to do? Is it going to be with Kimmy, who likes to straddle the fence? But the problem with that though is Miss Wanda going to feel some type of way if Kimmy is talking to Arionne Air Mattress, because to Wanda, that's like disloyalty. You are building a friendship with the enemy who tried to come after my daughter marriage. And that's what made Kimmy and Melody start being friends, because even though Melody and Kimmy was really good friends, the problem was Wanda and Tisha and the Scotts kept making her feel as if she was disloyal by still being cool with Mel. So what she did, she spit on Mel and jumped on the anti-hate Mel team to appease her husband and her in-laws. So I don't know how far that's going to go, even though Kimmy says she's willing to film with Arionne, and if so, that's definitely a slap in the face, because while you thinking you just biting Mel, keep in mind you bite your sister-in-law Tisha and your brother-in-law Marceau, because you saw how they had a show and brought this alleged back page, wherever the hell they found her from, mistress who claimed that she done smashed Marceau. So why would you want to be friends or do a scene with this succubus who done caused conflict with your in-laws? Now think about it. I know you so butthurt and you want to spite Melody, but at the same time you stepping on on Tisha and Marceau's toes, because Arionne has told all of their business and went so far as to having an off-brand show to expose them. Not only that, Kimmy got to keep in mind, Martel is now an enemy of theirs. Martel has no loyalty to no one. You seen how he tried to destroy Tisha and Marceau. Why would you even dare consider even insinuating that you would do a scene with Air Mattress? And like I said again, all this is alleged. Make sure y'all hit that like button, by the way, if you're just coming in. I appreciate it. Big ups to my mods, everybody who's entering. If you haven't already, subscribe, join the family. It's free. I do have a $3 membership for those who are interested and becoming a member. But getting right back into it. So again, you have to realize, going back to Martel, Martel is hurt that Melody is no longer on that show. It may be a small percentage of him that's rejoicing, because now he knows, he could pull out any tricks in the hat and Carlos is going to support it, because Mel is not there to regulate the show and say we're not going to allow this person on, that person on. So a part of him may milk off of that, but at the same time, let me tell you why Martel is in a different mind space. And why it's going to hurt him more than it's going to hurt the Scotts, and more than it's going to hurt Air Mattress. Because he's used to Mel being on that show. And even though they were no longer together, they're not married, he got used to Mel's presence. You have to realize Martel has always depended on Mel. Even in the sense of depending on her where he could make her miserable, because that is what made him happy. Martel has become very codependent on Mel. He loves having her around to antagonize. He loved having Mel around to bully. He loved having Mel around to gaslight. He liked having Mel around just so he could destroy her. And a broken person don't have to. A broken person, they find happiness off of breaking other people. Martel is one of those ones. He's only happy when he gets the upper hand in being able to destroy someone. That is why he was so angry when Tisha and Marceau would not take the bait. He was throwing everything at the wall, hoping that it would stick. Hoping that Tisha would get so mad that Tisha would walk off and leave like Mel did him. Because you got to realize, Martel is a sore loser. He doesn't like to be miserable alone. As y'all heard the saying, misery loves company. Let me tell you something. Martel loves keeping other people miserable. Because he's such a miserable man. Martel hates to see anybody happy. He hates to see anybody doing better than him. Down his own ex-wife. And let me tell y'all something. You can learn a lot about a person based on how they treat their family. Watch how a person, when they get upset, how they treat their mama, how they treat their father, how they treat their siblings, how they treat their children, how they treat their ex-husband, ex-wife. Because if they can do in a person that was loyal to them and loved them and was dedicated, what the hell make you think they're going to be loyal to you? Just the way Martel did Mel, everybody on that whole show was dumb enough to think that Martel had their best interest. Martel had only used that castmate to get those castmates because he needed somebody to join the anti-hate Mel campaign. He was recruiting people to help him hate Melody. But see, snakes can't even be loyal to other snakes. Because after a while, when he saw what he was doing to Mel, even though he had an army with him, it wasn't enough to destroy her. Now he started turning on his own soldiers. This is why I tell people, never bond with somebody because y'all have a common dislike. The reason I can speak on that because I did it. Became friends with another female because we had a common enemy. And guess what ended up happening, ladies? We became common enemies. That's how that goes. Never build a bond or a friendship off of a common dislike. Because while y'all may be banding together, because y'all both have the same ops, sooner than later, y'all are going to become ops. Because when the ops that got y'all bonded together, they disappear. They're no longer in the arena for y'all to team up against. Now it's just the both of y'all. And all of us knew it was going to only be a matter of time before the Scots started going against Martel, or Martel going against the Scots. So if they bring her on the show, it's going to be very dangerous because Arionne been waiting on this magical moment. She's been waiting to be accepted. She's been waiting to get that spotlight. Because the truth is, she's always wanted Melody's life. And this is the thing. Yeah, you did end up with the man, but the problem is you ended up with a problem. You didn't get a prize, you got a problem. And that's what a lot of these side chicks don't understand. You feel so vindicated, and you feel you wear it as a badge of honor that you took part in destroying somebody's union. Not realizing was what you did was basically curse yourself. You curse yourself getting involved with these married men. And men curse themselves getting involved with married women. Why you think Kevin Hunter is still walking around here, Wendy Williams' ex-husband, broke, busted, and disgusted? The wicked shall never prosper. You don't think that you're going to be able to inherit off another woman's pain. And Air Mattress really believes that. She really think that she could ride off into the sunset with Martel, replace Mel on the show, and all of a sudden now she gets her moment to become a cast member. This is what she's been banking on. This is what she's been hoping for. But what she's going to find out is you're going to get attention, but it's not going to be the attention you was looking for. You're going to be looking for a moment, but it's not going to be the kind of moment you're looking for. Because at the end of the day, Carlos don't care about nobody. And he already knows that Air Mattress is a recipe for disaster. But he so badly wants views, he don't care about jeopardizing the Scotts or Martel by allowing Arionne to join the show if allegedly she really joins. Because Carlos is all about views. He ain't about morals. He about views. He ain't about what's right. He's about trying to redeem himself. So at this point, Carlos is pulling all the brakes. And he's using all of them as puppets. None of them really don't feel like they could survive without the show. How y'all going to continue to keep a whole show going when the person who started it is no longer a part of that? And y'all think y'all can continue to carry that baton and finish the race and think it's going to turn out great and successful? It is not. But maybe this is necessary for everybody to really see that y'all are not really liked like that. Those views are going to speak volumes. Because my thing is, they're not going to bring nothing to the show. Everybody's going to be fake and phony. The only drama that's going to spark the show really is probably Martel and Air Mattress and Wanda. That's probably about it. But I can't see this show being great all 6-7 episodes. I don't see it being that. And my thing is, Lil Chucky going to be on the show? Or we're going to see him, doing cartwheels and him spinning around on his head? I mean, how's that going to go? This is just a level of a new low for Martel. But you know what? A lot of these shows are doing that now. A lot of these shows are letting ex-husbands, ex-wives come back. And to me, that is just straight up betrayal. It just goes to show you how much these networks got so much control over these shows, and they got so much control over these cast members. And a lot of these cast members, these people who join these shows, are willing to lose their peace of mind just to prove a point that they're going to keep their seat. Just like with Married to Medicine, they allowed Gregory to come on the show, which it started off with Quad, the show. And I know this is going another direction, but just follow me. Y'all get where I'm coming from. The show started off with Quad. All of the women being married to men that are in the field, or either they themselves were in the field, like Heavenly and Dr. Jackie. That was what the show was based upon, right? But when Gregory and Quad broke up, I guess the views wasn't really hitting. So in order to resuscitate the show, they're going to let Greg, which is the ex-husband of a main castmate, come on the show with his new wife, Sweet Tea. Then let Quad come on the show with her new man, King, or whatever his name is, knowing that situations like this is going to spark a fuse. Anytime you have an ex-husband and an ex-wife in the same room with their new companions, and these shows are intentionally doing that. They did the same thing with Phaedra and Apollo. These producers, listen, like in the words of Chris Brown, these hoes ain't loyal, these shows ain't loyal. Okay? They will throw anybody under the bus. The fact that Carlos, if he is going there, the fact that he will bring Arionne air mattress on the show to replace Mel, it shows you there's no moral compass when it comes to how these networks rock. That's why you have a lot of reality show stars that are ending their contract, that have left these shows. Because they started peeping the bull and they realized what producers like Andy Cohen and especially more so Carlos King, people kept dropping like flies on him because they got hip to the game and saw exactly what he was doing. And they wasn't going to stand for it. The very reason why Mel left. But if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So because the rest of the cast is so desperate and they don't have other things going for themselves, they got to make themselves be pimped by these producers because they need the money. After this, I don't know where else there's left for Martel to go. This is his last bullet in the chamber. Now I will say this. Once Melody puts it out there who her new man is, once she gets to that place in which she's comfortable, because Melody is playing it smart. Melody is laying low on who she's dating, who she's involved with, because she wants to make sure this is the real deal. She's not trying to grab a microwave relationship just to prove a point to Martel and the rest cast members. I got me a man, I got me somebody. Melody is playing her cards right and making sure everything is solid. And a real woman, a real mother would do that, especially when you have children involved. You got to make sure this man is on point with what he has to offer to your life before you go sharing it with the whole world and putting it out there. Because the world is already going to be very critical. And let me tell you something. People don't just have to envy you for your looks. People envy you for your perseverance. Just the fact that you keep moving on and you keep growing. And I really think that's the reason why Melody has so many haters. A lot of people expected Melody to fold. They expected this woman to just roll over and crumble. And the fact that she's not rolling over and crumbling, that's making a lot of women out here feel some type of way, because it's a lot of women who wish they had that strength and they just don't. A lot of people don't have to hate on you because of your money, hate on you because of your looks. They can hate on the fact that you are just so damn unbothered. That being unbothered really bothers the hell out of people. You feel me? So only time will tell, you know what I'm saying, where this is going to go, the direction of the downfall of Love and Tragic in Huntsville. Because like I said, I don't call it love and marriage. I call it love and tragic. I don't see no love at all in the show. And I don't see no marriage. Other than fake couples on here trying to act like everything is going great and they got all these businesses and they making all this money. It's a lot of fakery and fuckery going on, and I'm just not interested. And nothing this show has to answer. You know, the show is not giving nothing that's going to keep me interested. But time will tell if I decide to partake and watch it just off the strength to keep y'all informed of what's going on, and if the show is elevating or if it's declining. So I have to really kind of meditate on that and figure that out, if it's worth me draining my energy and watching this fuckery take place so I can report it to you ladies, or if I just, you know, just kind of wait it out and hear from the grapevine what's going on and then do my intake on that. It's all kind of up in the air. So time will tell on that, right? But this is another thing I wanted to address, and I'm not going to say a whole lot about it, but I wanted to talk about a lot of how the sisters in blogging, a lot of the blogging queens have been beefing with one another. And it has caused certain individuals to lose their channels. It has caused so much disdain and discord within the YouTube streets. And, you know, I'm not going to pick sides. I don't have no beef with nobody. You know what I'm saying? I get along, as far as I know. Nobody has said they got a problem with Mocha. And honestly, I don't have a problem with none of the sisters I'm blogging. In fact, I like all of them for their styles, their creativity. Everybody, we all bring something different to the table. But I wanted to kind of give my own opinion on what's been transpiring with, you know, content creators getting channels terminated. Not only that, there's been petitions put up for people to come together and rid certain content creators. I'm not going to say names. I don't operate like that on my channel. And I would respectfully ask everybody in the comment section, you may already have an idea who I'm talking about. Please refrain. Hit that like button, by the way. Please hit the likes. Please refrain from putting any names of this situation and whom I'm discussing a lot of conflict with the content creators, with the queens I'm blogging. I don't want anybody saying any names. If anybody puts down if anybody types or puts in the chat room any of these content creators, I will block your comment. I'm not going to block you because you may miss and do it, you know, unintentionally. But do not put any names of any content creators in my chat. I want to refrain from that. I don't want that energy being brought to my channel. But I will say this. For any of you sisters out here who are doing really successfully with your channels, you're doing phenomenally well. And you have a lot of support. You have a lot of views and things of that nature. What's important, what a lot of content creators got to understand, you need to avoid beef at all times. It's important that you avoid conflict at all times. What tends to happen as a content creator, sometimes we become very territorial when it comes to our platform, right? We become very territorial, not with just our platform, but we also become very territorial with our followers. Meaning that at times, you know, we will feel some type of way when people who follow us, we see that they are following other content creators. And I never understood why you would have some content creators that would be like, if you follow that person, you can't follow me. If you you know, you support them, you can't support me. To me, I feel like it's enough bread out here, it's enough support out here for everybody to win. And I feel like as long as the followers are being respectful, and regardless if they hanging out at that person's platform and then they're hanging out at your platform, long as they're being respectful and they're not being messy, they're not running back and forth between content creators causing a lot of chaos, then I don't really think that should be an issue. I think we all are grown women here, and nobody should have to pick a side. My thing is, if you roll with Mocha, you roll with Mocha. If you want to roll with XYZ, who does not like Mocha, I don't have a problem with that. Just don't come to my channel, you know, bringing no energy talking about what XYZ said about me. You know what I mean? Just be mutual, be an adult, be civil. You can listen to several content creators and not bring any chaos in the mix, okay? It's no different if there's people who are Beyonce fans and there's people who may be Fantasia fans. I can go to both concerts and not have to pit one against the other. And like, oh, Beyonce has better music. Or, oh, I mean, everybody has their own style. Everybody has their own flavor. So embrace whatever that content creator is giving you that another content creator probably is not. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. But secondly, it's just way too many sisters that are constantly at war with each other. You know, because we have similar ideas, we have similar viewpoints, and although there may be some alleged content creators who may be taking other people's slogans or taking other people's ideas and revamping them, making them theirs, there's absolutely nothing you can do if somebody decides to copy you. Now, if you want to report it, if somebody is taking your style and remixing it or whatever, of course, any real content creator, when you know you originally started off with that style and you see other people doing it, it will make you feel some type of way. But at the same token, there's nothing you can really do, because I'm like this. What's for me is for me. You could take my style, copy it, remix it, and you may even get more views off of it than compared to me, and I'm the one who originated the style. But my thing is this: when you are confident in who you are and you love what you do, it does not matter if another person takes your same flavor and they remix it. They take your same viewpoints and they take those viewpoints and they don't give you credit for it. They don't give you any acknowledgement for it, or whatever the case is. When people want to be respected for their craft, anytime you have to demand respect, you done already lost it. Anytime I have to say this person is not acknowledging me or taking my material and they're not giving me credit or they're not acknowledging me, I really need for them to put some respect on my name. I really need for them, to honor and give me the respect that I deserve, because they're using my material, or they're using my sayings or my slogans. The moment I got to demand respect from you, I already know there's no point in really enforcing it, because respect is something that should be given. So the moment somebody takes your narratives or your viewpoints and don't give you credit, that's cool. Let them have it, because in the long run, karma has its own timing. But when you get to a point in which your channel starts focusing more and more on outing people who are disrespecting you, on outing people that's coming for you, and I get it. You got to defend your name. You got to, let it be known that somebody is taking something that you worked hard to build, and they're using it within their own rights, acting like they was the one that came out with it, whatever the case is. Sometimes you got to just leave well enough alone, because especially when you have too much to lose, when you start getting to that point where you got over 10,000, 11,000, 15,000 subscribers, beef should be nowhere within your vocabulary. Let me tell y'all something, ladies. I have witnessed a lot of phenomenal content creators lose their channel over beef and addressing BS. Now, before I really started following female content creators, I used to float in the manosphere. I used to be in the manosphere arena, where I would follow a lot of male content creators. That was hot and popping at the time, And over time, these guys started losing their channel, because what ended up happening was they started basically ego bumping with other male content creators. Oh, he's stealing my style. He taking my narratives, and he flipping and twisting and not giving me credit, and this and that. Next thing you know, they started having all of these YouTube wars. Everybody was taking turns doing get back videos, basically airing out what the other person was stealing, what the other person was doing, and it got so bad to the point to where followers became more consumed with the beef than they actually did the content creators' skills and abilities. Beef will rob a content creator of their originality, of their ethnicity, because content creators get so caught up in the hype of people talking about them or people coming for them that they start to lose focus of what their platform is really built for. If you build your platform off of celebrity tea, stay on celebrity tea. If you built your platform off of love and marriage in Huntsville, stay on love and marriage in Huntsville. Furthermore, realize that the reason there's going to always be constant YouTube beef amongst content creators is because of minions, followers. Sometimes your fans can become your biggest downfall. When you have followers that are reporting to you what's being said, what's being done, and although it may seem like a good thing, that people are keeping you informed and letting you know what's going on behind your back that you might not be aware of, what it does is it opens up a whole nother chamber to problems, because now you have followers beefing with followers, over which content creator is more solid, which one is more creative than the other. Women by nature are messy individuals. They are. Women are messy. They are. We are cursed with that, unfortunately. And a lot of the times your followers actually make things worse. Why they think they're helping you, they're actually harming you. Because if they know you're very passionate in your craft and they're coming back telling you what's being said, what's being done, automatically you're going to attack. You're going to react without giving it a thought. And sometimes followers make things sound worse than what it is. They will tell you, oh, I haven't experienced it yet, but Mocha so-and-so is over there, saying how, how you got the lounge, but one minute you doing this and then you're talking about that and your content is all over the place, And if I were to actually, do my research and actually speak with that person, they probably didn't even mean it the way the follower bought it. No, I was just basically saying that you're a good content creator, but I just feel like sometimes you go from one subject to another relatively quickly. That was just my opinion. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, it is what it is. But your followers will amp things up. Because let's face it, a lot of followers are not following you just to follow you. They follow you because most of the time we promote tea, which in many instances, tea is consistent of mess. Yes, even when we share our opinion on Love and Tragic in Huntsville, it's all based off of messiness and toxicity. So your followers are already following you based off the strength that you promote toxic shows, you promote drama. And let's face it, I do the same thing, right? But this is the thing. Followers will go from following you because you promote these toxic shows, and now that's not enough anymore. They want to actually promote. They follow you when they see that you are actually in a toxic or current drama beef that's escalating between you and the current content creator. That's, you consider the ops, right? So I basically say that your followers will be your biggest downfall. Women by nature are messy. They will come back and tell you what another content creator said, and they making you think it's all about you. Girl, I'm just letting you know because you good people and all this and that. A real follower is not going to cause chaos between two content creators. If anything, she'll be in the chat room saying, girl, let that go. We support you. We stand by you. That's it. Not all, you degrading and insulting the other content creator just so, you feel like your followers are loyal to you. People will degrade your ops and will turn around and be in that same chat room but under a different name. You'll be surprised. It's a lot of fugazi going on. You got a lot of followers that are playing both sides of the fence. I've witnessed it with my own eyes. I've witnessed certain women mod for certain content creators and will go hang out in spots that their content creator that they swear they love and support, they know this person does not bubble with that person, and yet they be in the comment section with a wrench. So you got to take your followers with a grain of salt, just like you do with these people, in the street, people you work with, people in your neighborhood that claim they like you or claim, they respect you. But behind closed doors, you really don't know what a person feels about you until the grits hit the fan. I've seen so many successful content creators lose their channel basically over beef. Beef is what starts it. Because you got to realize everybody got soldiers on their team. There's people who rock with Mochas. I got my Mocha minions. Just like you got Nicki Minaj. She has, forgot what they call her people. Forgot what they call the Minaj fans. I don't know if they call them the Barbs. Like Nicki Minaj got the Barbs. Beyonce got the Beehive. You have a lot of content creators, they say our girl millimeters, they call us a hate group. All millimeters, we're the hate group, right? So everybody has soldiers on their team. And it's imperative that you monitor how your soldiers move, because your soldiers could actually make things worse for you. Soldiers coming back telling you what the enemy is doing and why you thinking that's a benefit. Everybody don't have your best interest. Just because people come back and report to you what somebody said, it's not because they genuinely care. You have people who live off of drama, and women by nature are drama. And it's just unfortunate that we as black women, we can't get in the space in which we do content that we enjoy for people who support us and who rock with us, without it getting to a point in which we are beefing with other content creators who may have the same outlook on things, or who may be copycatting or duplicating our style, or duplicating our narratives, you know. Unfortunately, that's something we don't have any control over. You know, I remember when I was working at a certain job, and I was able to get certain things out of my supervisor that my friend could not get. And I would notice that she would start doing similar things that I was doing, because she saw the results and how it would benefit me, and she wanted those same benefits. So she tried to remix it, and she tried to do it a little different, but I knew instantly she was biting or copying my style, copying how I rapport with my supervisor, and she started doing the same thing. But I'll tell you this, even though she tried to do what I do, the response was not the same. I mean, granted, it did give her a little leeway, you know, once she started using my approach. But for me, being that it was more authentic and genuine, it got me further than it got her, you know, because she was trying to be something she wasn't, and I was genuinely being me. So if somebody wants to be inspired by how you do things, you know, let them do that. If they don't want to give you credit, they don't want to give you support. I've seen too many great content creators who lost their platform, lost their channel, and it takes years to build these channels. I'm telling you, I've been doing this, I'll say about 2 years now, and I'm still at a little over 3,000 subscribers. So when you start getting at 10, 15, and 20, this is not the time to be beefing, because you got too much to lose. And these same minions that's pushing you to the edge of the cliff, and wanting to see you commit 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼, because I can't see the other words, but you got people that want to push you to meet your own demise. And these are the same people that will turn around and jump ship, and once your channel is no longer present, they'll find somewhere else to camp at. It's a lot of people out here, they just have their own definition of what loyalty means. But I really hope that, you know, all the queens of blogging, that they settle their differences behind closed doors, stop allowing these minions to get involved. And sometimes some things cannot be resolved. Once a person has crossed the line and they have disrespected you, disrespected your platform, or have taken credit for things that you have done, I get it. You cannot always be the bigger person. Like my grandmother used to tell me, if I got to keep being the bigger person, then obviously I'm around people too damn small. And that's really literally how I see it. So like I said, I don't have no bite in the fight. I don't have, it's not for me to display who I rock with, who I don't rock with. I support all the sisters in blogging who's doing a darn thing, who's keeping us entertained, keeping us informed. All of us got something different we could bring to the table. So there's no reason for hate. There's no reason for jealousy. I don't care if that person got 20,000 subscribers and you only got 20 subscribers. As long as your 20 is loyal to you, that's all that matters. You have to keep in mind, the bigger your platform gets, so do your opponents. For instance, if you have 20,000 subscribers, keep in mind that you have 40,000 enemies. Your enemies, your ops, they double those who support you. So if you have 10,000 subscribers, you got 12,000 haters. Okay, so everybody's not going to rock with you, especially if you disrespected somebody they was loyal to. And people will just go off the merit. They don't like certain content creators because of what another content creator said. Never been by the channel, don't know nothing about that content creator, other than their favorite content creator don't like that content creator. So you got a lot of people that's just jumping on the bandwagon, just to support people who they support, and not looking to the same, not looking to both sides of the spectrum. Just because somebody your favorite content creator does not make them wrong. It doesn't mean that they didn't go about handling things incorrectly. People who we love, people who we value, do make bad decisions, do make bad judgment. So we can't be so quick to feel some type of way because we feel like somebody wronged somebody we cared about, or somebody we respected or supported. Everybody has a right to have their own difference in opinion, but as a consecrator, if your platform is successful, avoid beef, avoid drama. All it's going to take is a whole army to come up against you and do a flag party, report you to YouTube, and next thing you know, your channel is gone. So definitely shout out to all the consecrators out there that's doing the darn thing. We need to uplift each other, support each other, even if we don't see eye to eye. Let's agree to disagree respectfully. And that's how I feel about that. So anyway, I ain't gonna go on too long. I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me here at the lounge. Let me know in the comment below. Do y'all really think, and please hit that like button right now before we exit. Just click that like. It only takes 1 second. Let me know, do y'all think Arionne is going to be joining the downfall of Love and Tragic in Huntsville? If so, let me know if she is. Let me know if she isn't. And give me the reason why you think she will be joining. Or give me the reason you think they're probably selling wolf tickets and she probably won't be joining. I'm interested in wanting to know y'all opinion on this, y'all. So anyway, until next time, y'all enjoy. Have a good weekend. Well, a good week. We just started Monday. So it's a while before the weekend. But anyway, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all week. It's your girl, your diva and knowledge lady, Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge. And I will be talking with y'all soon. Take care.